Andrew Lownie, welcome back again to the show. How are you doing?
Very well. Very enjoyed our last chat and looking forward to this one.
Yes, we had a slight break in between and we're back at the table now. We just had one. If people haven't watched that, you should watch that as well. We did an episode just a few days ago about the Epstein and Andrew links and Fergie and Andrew. That was Fergie and Epstein, which was a lot that I did not know about and people are not focusing on. So I hope people will go back and watch that one as well. Just to start this one again, this is new independent one. We're going to talk a lot about Andrew's weirdness, his strangeness, his bullying, his bisexuality, the something between Andrew's father and Fergie's mother that I had no idea about, Andrew's virginity, very strange kinds of things. But just tell me again briefly about your book and all of that.
Well, entitled The Rise and Fall of the House of York is a dual biography of the Duke and Duchess of York. It looks at their marriage. I mean, one of the extraordinary things is they were only together from 1986 to 1992 when they separated, divorced in 1996. And yet here we are with the couple still living in the same home, often going on holiday together. And that's quite an interesting question. How do they stay so friendly together? What is the nature of their relationship? Was it an open marriage? Was the timing difficult for them at different times? Were they forced to get divorced because of the embarrassment that Sarah created against the family? So that's one element. And I think by looking at, as I hope we will this time, at some of his strange personality traits, it may explain how he's got himself into this mess and perhaps how it might have been prevented.
Absolutely, and that's interesting itself. I'll ask about that as well. Well, no, I'm going to ask now. So, do they live together still? That's the case?
Yes, she has a separate apartment in Royal Lodge. Royal Lodge, as you know, is 30 rooms. It's massive, 100 acres. So they don't need to share the toaster in the morning. But I think they are friendly. They see each other. They talk to each other the whole time. They have defended each other. I mean, first of all, he had to defend her, had to bail her out. Now it's sort of the positions are reversed. And it's sort of the two of them against the world to a large extent. She has loyally stood by him. I mean, I would say crazily stood by him at times, saying he's the most honourable man, most decent man she's ever known.
It's almost like
what she says in public, I should say, or what she says in private is slightly different.
I see. It's almost as though they might have too much on one another.
Well, I think she hangs in there very closely because, of course, she's nothing without her links to the royal family. I mean, she's nothing in terms of her social status, nothing in terms of her commercial appeal. So I think there's an element of that. I think that's what's often concerned members of the royal family. She, of course, knows a lot of the secrets, and so better to keep your friends close and your enemies closer. So I think there is an element of that as well.
I imagine this kind of cold royal lodge where they're separated by 29 rooms between one another. I sometimes joke with my wife if we're in separate rooms and WhatsApping. I'll be like, just from this ward of the house to yours or so on. And it's just, she's the room next to mine or something. They actually live that life. Isn't that crazy? Are there other people living in that palace?
Well, there's extensive staff, and I think members of their family come to stay. But she certainly travels a lot, and I think he travels more than people think. There's this idea that he's basically under house arrest at Royal Lodge and never leaves, apart from the occasional ride on a horse and to play golf. But I get the feeling that he is traveling, for example, to play golf in Portugal, and he's pursuing some of his business interests. I talked to one ex-girlfriend of his who said that she actually lived at Royal Lodge for years without anyone knowing, and that there are ways in and out of Royal Lodge that people don't know about. So if that's the case, he may well be traveling more than people think.
That's interesting. I remember hearing about the palace. I spoke with a former guard there who told me that it was just mad, the comings and goings of the women for Andrew, and they were sort of coming in secretly. And I think it was Ghislaine in particular didn't have to always sign the entrance book.
Yes, that's Paul Page talks about all that. That absolutely. I mean, even escorts were being brought in, without them knowing the full security. And this, clearly is very dangerous because there have been attempts on his life. And for security, you need to know who's in the building. But you're absolutely right. The Ghislaine particularly was coming and going on such a regular basis that in some ways she was just passed through.
One of the interesting parts of your book, the many, many interesting parts of your book, was that there's a suggestion that Andrew might be bisexual. Is that right?
Yeah, it's just something that's dropped in and actually was left by the lawyers. It comes from a Thai aristocrat whose driver was very friendly with Andrew's driver on these trips to Thailand, and talked about young men being brought to parties. And I've just left it there just to see if that perhaps brings people forward.